in this video, we're going to create a 1-point perspective image with words using Google Draw. So the first thing we're going to do is go into our Google Drive. And a lot of you have kind of been forgetting this step. So we want to make sure that we're making our projects inside our projects folder. That way we have them all in one spot. And what I'm going to do is, again, new, more, Google Drawings. And that's going to make sure that I know where my artwork is. So in here, I'm going to rename my picture. And I'm going to start again by using creating some sort of background. You can use really any kind of background. The gradations look kind of cool for these ones. So if you go to gradient, you can see how they kind of arrange it. You can change your colors too if you want to kind of add where you want. You can go here and then kind of choose where it is. You can go linear or radial. It's up to you. Since this is a 1-point perspective, I think it is cool to do it from the center, and then you can kind of adjust it whether you want it bright or whether you want it dark. Either one is fine. I'm going to go ahead and do my dark right now so it stands out. So now that I've got my background full, what I want to do is create that horizon line. That is where you start no matter what. And for the 1-point perspective pictures, we really want it kind of as a higher line because we're going to have our name below and we want to have space for everything. So I'm going to start there. And if you want it a little thicker so it's easier to see, you can kind of adjust it here. Because we're going to be using lots of different lines, you'll want to be able to see them, and we're going to be making them and deleting them a lot. Then what I want to do is go ahead and choose a circle to create my vanishing point. So I'm going to hold down the Shift button so that I can keep the size of my circle. And then I'm going to change its color to red so it's easy to see. And I want to get it right on the horizon line as best as I possibly can. The next step, I'm going to make this easy for you, is I'm going to start and I'm going to say Insert. And you see down here where it says Word Art, I'm going to click on that. I'm just going to do my name. You want yours to have at least 5 letters. Okay, so you can create whatever you want. If you want more than 5 letters, that's fine, but it will become more difficult. Keep it appropriate for school. Okay, so after I press enter, I'm going to move down here. Now, these are kind of thin and narrow. If you want to use this font, that's fine. I like to make mine a little thicker. So you can kind of go through these and decide which one you want. The more detailed it is, kind of the harder it's going to be. So I like to go with the impact one because it's a little bit thicker and easier to see. So now I'm going to move this down to the bottom and I want to make it large so that it's a little bit easier. You can fill it, you can make it a little bit smaller, either one is fine. So once I have my name, I can change the color of it now or I can change it later. It's up to you. I'm just going to keep it how it is right now because so it's easy to see. So now what I want to do is start with the line tool. I'm going to take my line and I'm going to drag it all the way to my vanishing point. You can see it kind of highlights when it does that. And I'm going to do one part of the letter at a time. Because if not, I get too many converging lines and it gets very confusing. So I connected my 2 points at the top. And then what I'm going to do is switch to the poly tool. So here, I'm going to trace the top of my letter. I'm going to come back about 1 inch or 2. And I want to make sure any of my horizontal lines are strictly horizontal and my parallel lines are parallel. And I'm going to kind of build the shapes as we go. So I have this first one. If you need to shift it a little bit, you can move it so that it matches up a little bit better. If it's moving too many spaces, you can hold down the command key and use the arrows. And you can see here, you can get a little bit shorter of movement. Oh, it's right. After I've got this part, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use this pointer to select my line, and I'm gonna delete those converging lines. Because if I have too many lines, it gets really confusing. And I'm gonna be doing this with each step. So now I come back up, I switch back to the line. I'm gonna go to the middle of my M. Sometimes when you just click, it gives you this, and then you can just drag it. So I've got it right there. I'm gonna add another line. Make sure you've got it selected here. And I'm gonna attach it to the converging or to the vanishing point. So it always turns off the line tool, so you will have to reselect it. Take this here, connect it to your vanishing point. And then again, we're going to switch this to the poly tool so that we can fill it in. So I'm going to go just straight to the edge. And again, here, you want them to be a straight vertical. So you can kind of see, if you look really closely, how the line gets when it's straight. So you really want that straight vertical. I'm going to follow it till it closes. Then again, I'm going to go ahead, use the pointer, select those converging lines, and delete them. And now you see it goes over in front of the words. So what you're going to do for this, click on your name, right click or two finger click, depending on what you're using, go to order, and I'm going to say bring to front. And you can see that my name now pops up. Now, if you want to change the colors of these while you're working, you can do that so that you know kind of where your spots are. But we're going to take a look at the values after we kind of put the whole thing together. So I've got that part. Now I need to do the top of this M. So again, I go back to the line. I click. I drag it to the vanishing point. Do my next line. Click. Drag it to the vanishing point. Then I switch to my polyline. Next. So I've got that in there. Then I'm going to switch to my pointer, delete those converging lines. And then continue. So I'll show you one last one again that kind of covers up the letters. So I have my line. I come to the bottom of the M. I'm going to drag it up, create another line, converge it at the vanishing point, switch to my poly tool. And then again, I'm just going to go straight from where I left off before. Make sure it's a straight vertical. Follow and trace the converging line. Hit my pointer. Get rid of these converging lines. I need to adjust this one just a tad to get it in there. And then again, remember, you click here, right click, order, bring to front, and then it's in front again. You can also use the arrange tool and switch the order. It just depends on what your preference is and how your mouse might be working that day. So don't forget the bottom as well. You may only need to use one line for the bottom ones. So I click on the bottom of my M, I connect it so I can kind of see what I'm selecting. Switch to the polyline. I have that. I want it to go behind the name. So I'll reorder, bring to front, and then it goes behind. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up, and I'm gonna stop on some of the rounder images so I can kind of show you what to do with that. So we will speed this up and talk in a little bit. Okay, I'm going to pause here so I can show you this. So if you look at letters that kind of come back on each other, so like the R has this little part that sticks out, and then this is a little farther back. We actually want to come in a little bit when we're drawing that other line with our polyline so that it gives the appearance of space with that overlapping. So sometimes I like to zoom in so that I can really focus. And I'm going to start back here, and I'm just going to come in about the width of the different letters. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to go straight up and down. And so I might have to do this as more than one section to get the illusion that I'm looking for. And then I will come back here. And it might take a few clicks with the polyline tool, especially if your shapes are rounded. And then with every curve, again, you're going to have to do a few different lines. And remember, if it goes behind your letter, that's okay. So there's that. And then what I'm going to do is, again, pull it to the front. So that I get more of that curve again. So now it gives that illusion of coming towards the front, and we have like two different dimensions here. So when I work on the S, this is kind of the tough part. Any of those rounded images, that's why I said the more detailed your letters, the harder it becomes. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see. So for the rounded images, to give the illusion of those shapes moving, we're going to do a few different converging lines. So I'm going to show you those first. So all right, so now I have my 4 lines here. And so I'm going to zoom in, but you can see with those lines, you kind of get that illusion, but we also want to follow that S shape. So this is where we're going to have to use the scribble tool. I'm going to go back to where it ends, and I'm just going to kind of follow what my S would be right here. So that's 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines. And you can see sometimes it's not perfect, so that's why you want to do 1 line at a time rather than just holding it and drawing one big line, because it gives you kind of a limit. So here you can see now I have those lines here. Then I will go in with my poly tool again to put those in. So here, I'm going to slowly go around the S. You might have to click a few times come back to that line. Same thing. You might have to take a few times around and then follow the lines back so I get that line. And then I can go right in with that pointer and delete those converging lines right there. And then I will continue going through that with the S so that I can fill it in with color later. Now that I've finished building my name, what I want to do is go ahead and change the colors. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to be selecting multiple areas. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is it is much easier if you then move these to the back. So again, we're going to use that arrange option, or you can use the right click and go to the order. And I'm actually going to send it to the back so we can easily access all these other little parts. Then I'm going to show you on one first. I'm going to select an area. I'm going to come to fill with color, and I'm actually want to choose a gradient. And what I want to do is I'm going to create a custom color. And you can see here, this is the way the gradient goes. Linear means up and down or right and left. Radial means out from the center. So what I want is a linear one. I want to change my color. I think I'm going to do pinks. Sometimes you can change that as well to a darker color. So I might use a purple. So you see now it's a gradient from purple to pink. And I want it to be dark at the back and light at the front. So if I take this angle and I rotate it 180, it goes one way. Then what I want to do is go all the way to 270 so that my dark area is at the back and my bright area is at the front. So now you can see here, I get those shadows and that value. So I want to use all of my side colors using this gradient. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up while I select them. Remember, you can select multiple areas by using the Shift key. Now, once I've finished doing all of the sides, I want to go ahead and bring the letters back to the front. So I'm going to bring it to the front so that covers up all those little imperfections that I have. And then you can use either a solid one of the bright colors, or you can choose a different color, like a complementary color or an analogous color. So here I went ahead and did that yellow. So once I'm finished, I want to make sure that it's saved in a place I can find it and add it to the assignment. I can't wait to see them. Good luck.